Next, we'll look at the list view and filtering functions that are available throughout Creatio. Any user can select which fields they want to see on their list views, and they can even choose which way they want that to be displayed. The options are a traditional list view with columns of information, or a tile view, which gives you a little bit more flexibility in determining how much information you want to see on the screen. It's really easy to add more columns to your view. You can just go in and pick any field that you want to add to that display. And you can even pull in data from related objects. So for example, if I want to show the primary phone number from the related account, I could go ahead and pull that information and display that on my opportunity view. Of course, the user can also set up the sorting that they want to see, how the data is organized, as well as the ability to set up summaries. So if you want to see how many records are in your list, or even basic calculations like the total opportunity amount of all of the opportunities in your list. Really easy to add those to your view. Some sections will have built-in filtering options like the owner field here, where obviously the sales owner for an opportunity is really important data. And so users typically only want to focus on their own data unless you're at the management level, making that easy to use. But you can also filter by any field that's available in your section, including any custom fields that have been added to your particular Creatio environment. You can easily add multiple filters together. And as you are defining these filters, you can see the list is automatically updating as you go, making it really easy to see what the results are. If you do have multiple filters combined, it is using AND logic there. You can also have folders, which are saved searches, so that you can easily just pull up and access a saved search that's relevant to how you're using the system. Those saved searches are created through the advanced filtering mode, which can also just be used if you have a more complex query that you want to run. This does have the same capabilities as the built-in filtering, but also the ability to do more advanced searching. So a couple of examples of that, you can set up a filter so that it always filters to whoever is using this particular saved search, the current contact who's logged in and using this filter. For date fields, you can filter by a variety of different time periods, all of which can be relative to the current date so that you're constantly keeping up with the current time period as you're doing that filtering. You can even filter on related objects. So for example, if I wanted to filter based off an account segment field, like say industry, I could go ahead and connect to the account object and filter off of that field as well as the fields at the opportunity level. And I can go both up and down relationships. So for example, if I wanted to find all opportunities that don't have an activity scheduled, I could go ahead and filter by the activities that are related to that opportunity. And I could say, find me any opportunities that don't have any activities, let's say that are not in a completed status. So the status is not started or in progress. You might be noticing that the list over here is not updating as I go this time. I do have to click the apply button if I want to see the results of my search. And I've gotten pretty specific here, so no surprise there are not any results. If I go ahead and pull a couple of these filters back out, I think we will get a few results this time. And I can go ahead and save this search as a folder. So I can say my ops with no next step, say, whatever I want to call that folder. And I can define who has access to that folder. So if I want to share that with other users, I can go ahead and set up the access rights to share that with them. I will say that the shared folders or saved searches don't have the columns tied to the folder. Your columns and your folders are independent of each other. So if you do have a particular saved search that you need with a specific set of columns every time, you'd be better served using dashboards for that functionality. So if you have, say, a report that you run weekly or monthly or something like that, where you have a specific set of columns you want to see in that report, the dashboards function is going to be a better fit for that need. So you can see on my dashboards here, I can have a variety of different types of widgets, display data in charts, calculate values, see progress against the goal, and so on. And one last thing I want to mention really quick before I forget, there is also a full text search capability. So if I'm searching for a particular account or contact or opportunity name, something like that, you can configure which fields and which sections that's searching.
You have filters on the side. of your every view. So if we look at the account view here, these are different groupings, and we're going to show you how to build those in a second. But then you also have filters on the side, and filters can also create groups. So if I just want to get a group of anchorage accounts, there they are. All I had to do was pick the city. Now these types here are coming off of this view here. And then I can just say, save that as a group, record, and it'll say yes, proceed. And I'll give it a group name, Anchorage Accounts, and hit OK. And voila, we have a new group out there called Anchorage Accounts that we can count on. I'm going to clear everything by hitting the clear button here. I can also add more fields or take fields off. So for example, I decided that, for the Anchorage account view, I really don't need to know that it's the city and state is Anchorage, because that would be the definition, and I can actually take that off. I can also move things around rather easily, and I think we showed before that you can sort by just clicking on the column. Change a dynamic group to a static group. So dynamic groups are based on a query like Anchorage accounts. But if I really wanted to add other things into that, there's nothing stopping me. So for example, I just hold down the Shift key, select for companies, and say add it to the Anchorage account group. And what's going to happen is now this is a static account, or a static view rather. So it'll have all of these different things. So if I wanted to make a list of people I wanted to buy holiday gifts for, I wouldn't have to go add a field in called holiday gift. I can just literally go through my all account view, find accounts that I really want to help out by holding the Shift key and literally just adding it to the Anchorage account view. The other thing I can do is I can modify the query for the Anchorage account by coming up in here and right clicking and hitting edit. And this brings us into the query builder. The query builder allows us to do a lot of different things. I can change the layout, so I can hit on the account view up here. Now you'll notice that below is all of the associated and linked tables. And so if I wanted to see the owner of any invoices, or just invoices in general, and this doesn't actually make sense, but I could add that to this view. I would test the SQL to make sure it's possible. It says OK. I hit OK, and now my Anchorage account view has a few more columns to it. Likewise, I can add default sorting order. Right now it's on account name descending because I just changed it. I can also restrict it to only one row coming back. So if I have duplicates in my query, I only need to see one of that. I also have the ability to do calculations. So this is a global tool where they've created a series of calculations already. For example, sales order, which is the sales order number, and there's a way of calculating it. Here's how they calculate sales order. You can create your own calculations right here and then apply them to any query. So you have the capability of adding calculations as well to the query based on this table here. So from that, I'll take it to show you about global joins. Global joins is how it links the data together. And so sometimes it may not link data the way you want it to. And I can use this tool to link it in a different way so that I can get a result that I want. And then I can create my own joining process. And if I want to view what the SQL query is, well, there it is. For those who know SQL, you can actually go in and script your own SQL queries. So that is the grouping tool in Infor CRM.